Good evening, Zimbabwe. Welcome to Livetalk, The Connection, a platform where we discuss issues affecting young people. We are coming to you from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington. This Tuesday, July the 12th, 2022. I am Tungamili Nkomo. Tonight, we are talking to Mandela Washington Fellows who are wrapping up their leadership training in the United States. The fellowship is a flagship program of the Young African Leaders Initiative, or YALI, a brainchild of the former US President Barack Obama, and is sponsored by the US State Department. This year's edition ends on Sunday. The fellows are among 700 young people drawn from different countries in sub-Saharan Africa who have spent 6 weeks receiving training in business, civic engagement, and public management at some of the top US universities and colleges. At the launch of the program in 2010, President Obama explained that the objective was to support an emerging generation of African leaders as they work to drive economic growth, enhance democratic governance, and strengthen the civil society structures that will help the continent grow and prosper. To this day, thousands of youths, including those from Zimbabwe, have benefited. Lingaba litshona njani izulu kandaba emakhaya siyalamukela kuhlelo lwe-The Connection lamhlanje ku-Studio 7 na kungolwesibili udaba esingalo lamhlanje ngolwe-Mandela Washington Fellowship. Lizakhumbula ukubana kunabasakhulayo beZimbabwe abangapha sikhuluma nje asebele 6 weeks beqhuba izifundo zabo kundaba zobukhokheli phansi kwalolu hlelo lona olwasungulwa ngubaba uBarack Obama esangumongameli weMelika ngo-2010. Silabo ke abakulolu hlelo njalo sizakhuluma labanye abake bangena kulo eminyakeni edluleyo. Baza kuthi ukuthi kuyini abakutholayo njalo kubancedisa njani empilweni. Kwaziwa ebatereri kusangana uku chirongwa chenyu chirongwa chevechidiki chirongwa The Connection. Nasi tiri kukurukura nevechidiki vari kuno kuAmerika vari kuita zvidzidzo zvavo pasi pechirongwa cheMandela Washington Fellowship. Vava ne6 weeks vari kuma-universities nema-colleges akasiyana-siyana kuno kuvachidzidziswa nenyaya dzeutungamiri. Asi chirongwa ichi chiri kusvika kwamvura yachika makumbo nemusi wesvondo uri this weekend. And our first guest is Crystal Bonzo, who is currently receiving her training at Appalachian State University in North Carolina. I asked Bonzo what her experience has been like.
So I would want to start off by saying takadzidza zvakawanda, 6 weeks is a long time, but my biggest lesson really is understanding the power of working together, especially sema-Africans. Vandinavo panapa, we are coming from 18 different countries and etinoita mabasa akada kufanana. So I'm taking away the lesson equity, to create more impact that is sustainable. Zvakakosha kuti tibatane tishande tose. Even though the fellowship is ending on Sunday, patorine vamwe vandichatonoshanda navo vari different African countries because kuita basa rakafanana. So my biggest takeaway has been the power of synergy and networking to create long-lasting change.
Nderipi basa rauri kuita chaizvo kuZimbabwe and organization yako inonzi chi?
Okay, so organization yangu inonzi Dzidzo SafePad. Yakatanga muna March after ndaenda mumwe nzvimbo pandaiita pad distribution kune vanhu vanorarama nema-disabilities. Ndo pandakaona kuti there's a gap in policy, there's a gap in advocacy, because hapana ari kumirira vanhu panyaya dze-menstrual health. Sa organization yangu inotargeta young women and girls vanogara kumamisha, ndichivatraina on how to make reusable sanitary pads ekuti anoramba vachingomashandisa, so that vasaregere kuenda kumabasa, vasaregere kuenda kuchikoro nenhau yekuti vanenge vari kumwedzi. Saka inoda kubatsira kuti tibvise stigma iri around menstruation, kuti tikwanise kutaura nazvo openly and publicly, kuti tinzwisise kuti this is a natural process, it happens, but we need to be able to prepare and equip my vulnerable communities kuti vasaite ma-disturbances in their day-to-day lives.
And iroro dambudziko remasanitary pads zvikuru sei kuvanhu vanogara kumaruva idambudziko rakakura sei, uyezve pane zvimwewo zvamuri kuita zvakafanana nedistribution yemasanitary pads acho kana kuti?
Saka patinoenda mainly kuzvikoro tinotanga taita ma-menstrual dialogues kuti tikwanise demystify zvinenge zvichitaurwa zvinenge zviri zvechokwadi around menstruation. Saka tapedza process iyoyo, then totanga kuita training yacho, tinotouya nema-materials, then after that training tobva tadistributa futi mamwe ma-reusable pads atinenge tinawo. Pamusoro todistributa imwe material yekusonesa yekuti kana isusu taenda vanokwanisa vachidzidzira futi vachisona, plus nekudonata ma-sewing machine. Saka in essence project iyi inoita zvese zve-advocacy, distribution, training, as well as education around menstrual health.
And why did you target those in the rural areas specifically?
Because looking at the current economic situation, ndo vanonyatsokubatikana nenhau dzekushaya in terms of mari. Because kana uri kumusha, I tend to see kuti vanhu vanenge vasiri exactly focused on what's going on. Ma-services ari kure, vanhu vanofamba ma-distances akawanda, plus like I said, vanhu havanyatsokuziva kuti kumusha chii chinenge chichinyatsoitika. People are mainly focused on what's happening in the towns. So I took it upon myself to immerse myself in the vulnerable communities, because ndo munenge muchitodikana rubatsiro rwakawanda. I remember a case yandakatoenda kudhuze nekuairport uko, where vana vachitonzi at most on average they miss about 45 days of a school calendar year nekuti havasi kukwanisa kuafforda ma-menstrual products. Patone mamwe ma-situations yekuti vana as early as 10 vakutoita basa repabonde just because vakwanise kuwana ma-basics such as sanitary pads. So ndo saka ndakada kufocusa kuma-rural communities, because I think kuti nyau dze-menstruation hadzisi kunyatsokutaurwa nezvazvo zvakakwanisa.
That was Crystal Bonzo, founder of Dzidzo Safe Pad. She is currently with the Appalachian State University in North Carolina. I also sat down with Decent Deko Dube, who works with the Matobo Youth Development Initiative. He is receiving his training at Michigan State University.
I think it was really a fascinating experience, considering that I met various young people from different countries. So it has been a diverse program where we have been networking, and it gave us an opportunity to meet various people whom you can share your story and also see how best you can utilize the information which you are sharing to go back to your community and try to address some of the challenges which actually most of them are the reason why we're here, because I'm coming from a civil society background. So I feel like I've met, I like young people who share the same aspirations as me. So it gives me confidence and resilience to continue in our quest for accountability and young people's empowerment.
Kuyini kahle kahle Dube ongathi lokhu yikho okumqoka engikufundileyo engibuyela lakho eZimbabwe okuzanginceda kwela kusasa la?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's networking with young people abayenza okufana lalokho engikwenza emazweni afana labo Nigeria, Zambia, Kenya, DRC. So That's the thing. I feel like I've got a relationship which is very productive. Built Lamanyama fellows avela kwamanye countries who are sharing the same the stories. We can relate to each other. Then the other thing which I feel like I've gained is to link with other people from the US to give them a different perspective about my country, to set a narrative to show them the other beauty about my country. So it actually gave me an opportunity to try and address some of the issues which I've been hearing them on media and stuff like that. So it actually gave me a privilege ukuthi khona ngibe ku-position whereby I can talk from a position of authority. So I feel like that's one of the things which I really appreciate about this program. But mostly important is to link with other young people. Sibonisane ukuthi how best can we address some of the issues which we're facing in our respective communities.
Inhlanganiso yakho Dube isebenza labasakhulayo lenzani kahle kahle njalo libaphathisa njani?
So esikwenzayo thina siyiplatform yokuthi abantu abatsha bekwanisa ukuthi khona bethole i-information, bethole ulwazi lolo lubancedisa ukuthi khona bephatheke entweni zokuthi ze-development, entweni zoku-address into ze-child marriage, into ze-gender based violence, ukuhlukunyezwa kwabantu abangomama, lokuthi ama-offices aphathwa njani, like the authorities ukuthi khona how do they handle like the development in communities, ukuthi bebe khona ku-planning, bebe khona ku-monitoring ama-projects, bebe khona la ku-implementation. So the idea is to empower them nge-information ukuthi bekwazi ukupromote accountability le-democracy. So that's what we're trying to do. We're pro-youth, but ama-youth avela kuma-rural communities. Thina our organization is based ku-rural community. So siyafisa ukuthi khona since i-mainstream media ingafinyeleli, sikwanisa ukuthi khona si-create i-content yethu which speaks to us, sikwanisa ukusetha i-narrative abantu abatsha abasemakhaya, sitshengisela ukuthi khona we still can participate ku-development ye-community yethu.
Ulwazi olutholileyo ubona lukuphakamisa njani emsebenzini wakho?
Yeah, kathesi kunginika like most of all I feel like kunginika confidence because I never thought ukuthi khona ngingafika kulesi simo, looking at my background ukuthi khona ngisuka ngaphi. As I always speak ukuthi khona it's like singabantu basekhaya, we're not exposed to mainstream media and stuff like that. So mangukuthi ngifikile lami ngabona ukuthi lami sengikwanisa ukuthi ngifike eMelika ngizohlangana labantu, because this is a prestigious program which everyone aspires to participate in. So lami khona ukuthi ngikwanisile ukufika ngaba khona kuyanginika lami ukuthi ngikwazi ukumotivate abantu abatsha ukuthi sonkeni we can do it, noma ukuthi sikhulele emakhaya noma sihlele emakhaya doesn't mean ukuthi khona kungasivimba ukuthi lathi sezinto ezenzwa ngabanye from other parts of the country. So the only thing I can do is to try ukuthi ngi-inspire abantu abatsha abasemakhaya, ngikwanisa ukuthi bebekwazi ukuthi khona if Decent can do it, labo they can do it. So mina ngiyafisa ukuthi khona in few years coming kube kulabantu abatsha lami abayenze okungcono kulo kwami noma abayenze ukufanana nami. That's what I hope ukuthi khona and kunika that resilience ukuthi ngikwanisa ukuthi khona it's possible ngiyakwanisa ukwenza noma bengisiba lama challenges before, but kuyangikwanisa ukuthi kunike intshukuntshu yokuthi khona ngiqhubeke ngenza umsebenzi.
That was Decent Deko Dube, who works with the Matobo Youth Development Initiative. He is doing his training at Michigan State University. We are now joined by one of Zimbabwe's renowned human rights lawyer and former Mandela Washington Fellow, Mr. Kenneth Masie, who is based in Texas here in the United States. Mr. Masie, good evening and welcome to Live Talk.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me to this talk.
Oh, thank you. As one of the beneficiaries, how has the program contributed to your success? We know you are a very successful lawyer.
Yes, I can say the program has benefited me a lot because I learned a lot when I came here in 2015. I learned a lot of stuff that I would have never learned if I continued practicing probably in Zimbabwe without the exposure that I got. I got to meet a lot of people, a lot of young leaders across Africa, and I learned a lot of things on how they themselves did their work in their respective countries. So I can say this exposure has helped me a lot in shaping my career as I move forward.
Kune avo vari kuZimbabwe vamasiye vangangodawo kupinda muchirongwa ichi, zvii zvamungavakurudzira?
Ya, chirongwa ichi chakanaka chose because chinokuvhura yandikati pfungwa and chinokuonesa zvimwe kana kuti maitiro anoitawo vamwe vanhu kunyanya kudzimwe nyika dziri muAfrica nemashandiro anoitawo futi ma-institutions enyika dzinoshanda dzakaita seAmerica. Saka ichi chirongwa chekuti kana uchingori a young person ari kuda kudevelopa career yake, ada kudevelopa community yake, chirongwa chinokuitsa kuti uve nandikati ma-options akawanda which you can tap into, and chinokuitsa kuti uve neanonzi ma-resources in terms of human capital and also expertise from fellow colleagues vari kuitawo zvinhu zvakada kufanana nezvavanenge uchiitawo paunenge uchida kubatsira community yako kwaunenge uri.
And just 30 minutes, Mr. Masiye, what's your word to young people who idolize you as a lawyer?
Yes, I can say that, one thing that you have to do is to be determined, continue to believe in what you believe in, and also to always keep your eye on the ball. Obstacles will come in, challenges are always there, but if you have a good grounding and a foundation on what you want to achieve for your community, nothing will get in your way. So I urge all young leaders out there to be resolute and also to stay focused, network a lot, and then make sure that you develop yourself educationally and also, get as much resources that will enable you to achieve your work as you move forward.
Thank you there. Human rights lawyer, Mr. Kennedy Masiye, a former alumnus of the Mandela Washington Fellowship. He was speaking to us from from Texas here in the United States. And my graphics people mixed up the graphics. The person you saw on the screen is actually our second guest who will be coming later. But this one was Mr. Kennedy Masiye. As already mentioned, thousands of youths have passed through the Mandela Washington Fellowship, and many of them are doing very well in their respective fields. We also have some of them tonight, in fact, more of them. Let's hear first from entrepreneur Nkosana Mazivisa, who is based in Bulawayo.
Salwan Masabezule, Kamalamu Nkosana Mazivisa, an international award-winning entrepreneur, Mandela Washington Fellow, Classica 2016. Program emnandi ejulukayo ehlabusayo engangenakiyo yandlamlela yanginceda ngimlobi walolu gwalo kuthiwa the winner who never won, the entrepreneurship journey in Africa. Also umnikazi weprogram okuthiwa the Hustler Summit ebekhona ngoMarch lonyaka elethe uDJ Sfu yele ngigqokileyo. Ngize ngingene kuMandela Washington Fellowship ngahamba ngaba seDartmouth College eBoston, Massachusetts, lapho engafunda khona ngajula mayelana ngezebhizimusi konke lokuthuthukisa izigaba lama-communities. Ekuphendukeni kwami bengingu-chairman weMawaba Primary School, lapho engafika khona ngaletha inguquko lempucuko mayelana ngokufunda lokufaka amathamsanqa lamathuba ebantwini abatsha. Leso sikolo namhlanje siphume saba nguchwepheshe ngungqongqweti kwezokufundeni lakho konke kuma-projects. Sawina i-award okuthiwa yona i-Secretary's Bells Award in 2019. Abazuze khona equipment from UNICEF, from FBC Bank and the ministry as well. Outside konke lokho kunye ngikwenzayo ngile Life Business Incubation Center, lapha esithatha khona abantwana bemalokitshini bazuza amathuba okuzofunda, ba-research, baxoxe, okufana ngokuthi thina ngama-youth center aku-21st century, okule Wi-Fi khona lamabhuku lama-opportunities. Konke lokhu ngikuthethe ekuhambeni kwami ngoba amaNdebele athi oluzulayo ngoludobhayo, okuhamba kuthiwa uzala inkosi. Ukuhambeni kwami kunzalele nganika amathamsanqa isigaba sakithi. Kayisimi ngedwa sengiba emphawile banengi. Omunye womfana ngi-empowile ngemva kweprogram leyo nguZibusiso Mkandla ohambileyo waya ku-University yeMaine namhla uphendukile la esempower abanye abantu. Engikutshoyo ukuthi amaprogram anje singawazuza kasiwabambeni bantu bakithi ukuze sithuthukise isigaba sakithi. Ngiyabonga. Ekuboneni kwami le program okokuqala iyakulula ingqondo, ikutshengisa ukubana umhlaba umkhulu kule kitchen hangakini. Uyakwenza uxhumane labanye abantu esithi thina ngama-partners, ngama-investors and collaborators. At the same time yona le program ekwenza ukubana iyasilola ukubana sikhulume ngokuthi singobani sivela ngapha, esithi thina you owning your own African narrative. Ngoba bakwaziyo abantu abaningi bacabanga ukuthi i-Africa kakula mpucuko, kodwa nxa betshayisana labantu abanjengathi abakwaziyo ukuconnecta lokuthungamela lokwenzani bananzele ukubana lakanye i-Africa is not a dark continent, kulabantu abakwanisa ukuyimuva bayiphushile phambili.
That was international award-winning social entrepreneur and author Nkosana George Mazivisa. Another beneficiary of the program is Kudakwashe Liwayo.
I'm Kudakwashe Liwayo. I'm the founder of Vital Recycling, which is a waste management and recycling business based in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. I'm a Mandela 2022 fellowship. Because of the COVID lockdown, we could not do the fellowship physically, so we had the virtual version of the fellowship. The fellowship looked at the entrepreneurship and business related content, where we learned on how to grow a business, how to write bankable proposals. Currently, we are running some programs in communities here in Bulawayo. We've got Target 13, which is an environmental awareness pollution campaign targeting communities, where we are training waste pickers, training them on business management, project management. We're helping them scale up their waste collection initiatives. We're also helping them with equipment to use in the enterprises at community level so that they can scale up their recycling initiatives. And then they also get to interact with businesses and recycling companies based here in Bulawayo. So that's basically Target 13 and the community projects that we're running under Vital Recycling. So we have been working with industry. We're working with one of the largest manufacturers of plastic packaging. We're also working with the Environmental Management Agency. These have been the key stakeholders that have been supporting us. Being part of the fellowship was very useful in giving me exposure to the scope of projects that can be done in communities. It was very, very helpful in learning how to create documents or to create concept notes that can capture the attention of potential funders or potential stakeholders and investors. I would strongly encourage young upcoming leaders to take part in the program, to apply, as it's going to expose them to so much in terms of personal development. As a young leader, you need to grow yourself personally. Your business, your programs are not going to grow beyond yourself. So you need to expose yourself to situations, to programs that can groom you to become a better business and community leader.
That was Kudakwashe Liwayo, Director of Vital Recycling, a waste management company. We also spoke to another beneficiary of the Mandela Washington Fellowship, Nomalanga Ndlovu.
Salibonani, ibizo lami nguNoma. Ngahamba ku Mandela Washington Fellowship in 2017. And it was a very good experience for me. And I really appreciate the opportunity. If I could just mention, maybe say a few things that I benefited from the program and how I'm using them now. Number one, in network during that fellowship, and in network you now literally have people that you know all around the world: Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, khathesi ngasukuma ngithi ngeKenya kulo muntu engikwanisa lokumfonela ukuthi hayi ngizonithatha ngathi lase-airport. So that's amazing. Number 2, also uyafunda ukuthi abanye abantu bayenzani kwamanye ama-countries. Sometimes it's easy ukubona ngani maybe when eZimbabwe lapha things are tough for you, but ungafunda from abanye abantu and you realize ukuthi wena kule zinto eziningi okwanisayo la ukuzenza uyaba inspired kakhulu ngabanye abantu lezi zinto abazenzayo kwamanye ama-African countries. Since I came back, I've been running ama-programs amaningi for omama. From what is called the Manisware Outspoken Women, and the main goal in Jongo for this program is ukuthi noma bekwanisa ukuya bezofunda about imali, befunda ukuthi entrepreneurship ayiyini, befunda ukuthi bekwanise labo njani ukuzenzela imali yabo. I think sesidlulile ku generation yokuthi sibe sithuna sicela imali. Kuqhakathekile ukuthi la njengomama ukwanisa uku-understand imali, ukwanisa uku-budget, ukwanisa uku-manage umuzi wakho. So we've been running a lot of those programs, and also I've had a vast opportunities to work with also amanye fellows who are my programs, which has also just been amazing. And I look forward to growing and also seeing what other young people are doing. Right now also I'm actually researching and going into farming bijana, but I think into yenziwa Mandela Washington Fellowship is that iyawuvula ingqondo, you realize ukuthi there's so much more that you can do. There's so much more that other young people are doing as well. Definitely say you should apply. Definitely apply. Now I was going to apply was to thina ndidinga abanye abantu abahambayo ku program le ubabuze. Most of our fellows, and they are always willing to help. Always willing to help. Look for them on Facebook. Ekwanisa ukuthola futhi lama videos amanye on YouTube. I also have quite a number of videos that I've done that you can find on Facebook, which help you ukuthi apply njani, how do you prepare to go for the fellowship, and also maybe you might not qualify today, but you can start preparing yourself to also apply the following year once you qualify.
That was Nomalanga Ndlovu, a former Mandela Washington Fellow who is based in Kwabulawayo. And now we go to Godfrey Kurawone, a 2017 alumnus of the Mandela Washington Fellowship. He is a CCC politician now based in the United States. Good evening, Mr. Kurawone, and welcome to Live Talk. Hello, Mr. Kurawone?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Mungatitaura Kurawone kuti 3-4 years after the Mandela Washington Fellowship, ndezvipi zvakakoshesa zvamakadzidza muchirongwa ichi zviri kukubatsirai muupenyu nhasi?
I was selected to participate in 2017, and by that time I was a councillor mu Kutere Masvingo. So chekutanga, when I went to the fellowship program, ndakasangana with different councillors from different cities in the US. I'd also had an opportunity to attend about 2 council meetings, one in Charlottesville and one in Williamsburg. And as a councillor, ndakadzidza how the American councils relate with their residents, how the residents are actively participating in council meetings. You know, in Zimbabwe, it's only councillors who participate in councils, but here it's different. A resident is allowed to ask questions, and the councillors responding to the questions. So this is one thing that I learned, there is need of active participation.
And on that note, I would like to thank you so much, Mr. Kurawone. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you very much. I will make time next week. We'll invite you again. But that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you to our guests, and thanks also to Mr. Godfrey Kurawone. Good night, Zimbabwe. Let's make another date next week. I am Tungamili Nkomo.